So you guys built this place in 2003.
Yep.
I thought you guys would be here longer. That's cool.
No,
It's amazing.
A lot of people that were in the AACA National Club and Hershey region. So the AACA stands for Antique Automobile Club of America.
Gotcha.
And they have regional clubs, and they organize their own events, and they have a national headquarters here in Hershey that is also, it's on Hershey Park Drive. It used to be across from the hospital. The AACA Museum, Inc. is separate from all of that. We're a nonprofit entity based on donations, and we have a collection here, obviously other automobilia that people can come and see anytime.
So
but we're separate from them.
Cool. So how did you guys start then? I mean, that was all interesting right there. But how did you guys start this in 2003?
Well, there was a former AACA president named Bill Smith, who was from the area, and he got a lot of his own associates and backers that had a vision of having a museum here. And they bought a piece of property, and they started to really pitch to people, you know, hey, we can have a great thing, and he made it happen.
My word, that's awesome.
So a lot of people that were in the Antique Automobile Club of America, founders and backers, went in with that idea and created this awesome place. So if you start your tour here after going through the Klein Gallery, and you'll see that, okay, it's decorated. This is earlier periods of American automobile history, and it's showcased with not just older cars and decorations, but we've got a early machine shop, which kind of morphed into a garage or place that would fix your cars back in the day. And you can see our theme murals and decades and walk through time.
I can tell because I feel like how you said, if I'm not mistaken, we're in right now back 100 years ago, because that looks like that would have been original Ford, unless that's the original. I'm confused.
Well, it's made to look like a early 1900s, garage, dealership kind of thing, and it shows tools from the era, and people can come in here and do some interactive things and push a button and get things started and see how they functioned and how different it was 100 plus years ago than now, where you have power tools with rechargeable batteries that'll do everything for you. But yeah, things back then were different. People were smart, and it was all metal and metal working. So we do have interactive things for people and kids to do here. You can see how horns work and gears turn. We don't want you to touch the horn on the car, but you can touch this one.
And that would be your horn for your car. I could see it already.
Sure. So, and we won't tell you about every car, but there are cars here, big, small, old, not as old, restored, survivor, all throughout the place. We've got interactive exhibits that you can, so there's a trick to this, watch.
Oh, nice. All the documents.
It's locking. That way you can't open all of them and have it topple over on you.
Nice, yeah. You won't want kids messing around with this, because these are actual documents.
Oh, they can.
Right here.
Kids can mess around with anything they want here. They're not going to. They're not going to hurt it.
Oh wow, these are all the gears.
So we even have an educational program, exploration type kit, that if kids want to come in here on a tour, they can all get a pencil and a kit and go through here and explore and find things. This is based on the premise that a big gear makes a little gear spin fast. So kids can come in here and they could tear this apart if they wanted to and do their own thing.
Nice.
What is that based on the principle of?
Well, it's based on the principle of, if you want your car to go faster or more power, the transmission through different gears inside are going to make it go faster or slower, or have more power to go up a hill, or less power but you get some speed. And it's all based on a little gear turns a big gear slower, or a big gear turns a little gear faster. So kids can see that. If if they start to play around here. See, even I want to play with it. Let's put that away. We even have a kit if you have a tour or a teacher wants to give some exploration and some little how do you get their own gears turning and thinking when they come in here. We'll give you an exploration pack and a pencil. And they can go explore, find things, or maybe find cars and certain things about them. Maybe it's the way the headlights are, or the shapes, or the designs, or the fact that, where's the trunk? Some old cars, they don't have a trunk. You have a portable trunk that looks like a big suitcase that goes on the back. And it just makes kids think how cars are different now compared to the way they were then.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that. They wouldn't have a trunk. So now that you mention that, I'm like, why wouldn't they have a trunk? And then now you said, I'm like, that's right, they would have stuff like that. They had to go packing on them.
So an exploration pack might say, go find something in the drive-in. How do you think you listen, in your car?
Right.
Just a lot of things to explore, find, create. Or if they want to look at the beautiful murals in the place, there's just lots of stuff to see, not just cars. Yeah. So come through this way and we'll show you some more things. And of course, here are your DeLorean cars.
Oh, here we go.
This is the area where they're in right now.
Oh my gosh.
So there's a collector named Ken Ullman that's really into DeLoreans. They were only made for 3 years, I think it was 81, 82, 83. Designed and built by a former engineer of General Motors. And after those 3 years, there were some problems and they didn't make any more DeLoreans. But Ken Ullman collected a special one. It was a prototype car. I don't know how he came to get it, but it's different than the production car. So you see the production car here.
So this is the production DeLorean right here.
This is a DMC-12 coupe that was the one that you see. The type of wheels and the front end and the bumpers, and this one has a graphics kit on it, which I believe was new. Of course, they're all made out of stainless steel body, so they don't have paint on them because they don't need it. They don't rust. But the one here on the right was just a little bit different. So this was like a pre-production car, and you'll notice little changes about the windows aren't the same. They call it a turnpike window. You know why?
Right.
Because you only open part of it. Like when you're going through the turnpike and will pay the toll.
Yeah.
You could just put your hand out it. So that one has the production car has the turnpike windows on, and the paint scheme is a little different. The filler panel on the rear side window is a little different. This was just a little different. So it's kind of cool that our lender, found this car, bought it, and is preserving it.
That is really cool. Now, I have a question about something. So there's a game out there. I don't think they no longer make it, maybe. It was called Need for Speed, PlayStation 2.
Okay.
I know they don't make PlayStation 2s anymore. They had DeLoreans in there.
Okay.
And they were all different designs and stuff of a DeLorean.
Oh.
Now.
Not just colors, like different.
Well, yeah. Well, the colors were the same, but the back and the front were different. Like they were like weird designs. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I know in the movie Back to the Future, they were saying in order to get back to 1955, they had to go 88 to 89 miles per hour.
Okay.
Part 3, they had to take a train to go 90 miles per hour. How fast can a DeLorean really go?
Well, that is a good question. If we look at the dashboard, well, if it's digital gauges, I'm not going to be able to see it.
Here, I'm going to let you get in there because
the dash shows 120. Now, whether it will actually go that 120 without any modifications, I don't know. But it does say 120 as the top speed on the speedometer that's in there. And you can see that.
Because I remember they said they had to go up 80, to 90 in part 3 to get back to 1985, so that's why I was wondering how fast.
Well, put it this way. I'm sure a car built in the early 80s of this design would go at least 100 miles an hour. What the actual confirmed top speed of the factory car was, I don't know. But you would hope that it would be somewhere close to the 120 mile speedometer.
I
You'd have to ask a real DeLorean owner.
Gotcha. And I take it from what this looks like, there's no back seat and there's no trunk, or is there a trunk?
There is trunk space back there, yes.
Okay. But there's
Actually,
no back
wait,
seat.
time out. I have to think about this. Where's the DeLorean engine? Is it in mid-engine in the back? I wonder if we could find out.
So I'm all about my DeLoreans.
Yeah, there should be a trunk in the front.
Well, we don't always touch them and start fooling around with them.
You don't have to. I was just curious.
The engine's back here.
Oh.
So right here is motor. So if it's at the rear axle and forward, they call it mid-engine. If it's at the rear axle and kind of hanging behind that, they call it rear engine. There's the most famous rear engine car of all, is a Volkswagen Beetle.
Now, my mom had one of those. It was like
So
a
DeLorean is mid-engine, which it's in the back behind your two seats.